Alright, that's Dave from Falcon Blues TV. What am I going to miss about Goodison the most? Pretty much everything, mate. It doesn't matter who you are, how old you are, you know, how long you've been supporting Everton, how long you've been going to the game and whatever else. I mean, I grew up on L4. I'm 99 Goodison Road, born and bred, mate. For 30 plus years I lived down there. So for me, it's knowing that it'll be probably one of the few places I'll visit for the rest of my life, because Goodison won't be there. You know, I might take the odd trip, but it'd be those streets, you know, Askew Street, Espin Street, Goodison Road, Ismay Street, all those roads that I grew up in. I probably won't ever go round there again, but I said that to myself the other day, and I got a real pang of, oh my God, it really is this, you know, I'm probably not going to be going round that area anymore. You know, hopefully that changes and something happens with the club and they do the L4 project comes in and that rejuvenates the whole of Walton, because the whole area needs it. Without Everton, it's probably not going to have that much kind of influx of people, influx of money. So everything that Everton can do to save Walton and that area when they finally leave Goodison Park in, you know, a matter of months, will be vital to what happens to Walton and the surrounding area. So for me, yeah, it's just going to be everything. It's my childhood. I grew up there. You know, I've been there when it's, you know, the buying game. I've been, you know, the 4-all derby. Just being in the area. You know, even if you're not at the match, you feel it. You know, people in Walton, they feel that buzz of a day, especially when you're an Evertonian. You feel it more. I know I certainly did. You know, if there was games I wasn't going to because I was too young or whatever, you still felt that crackle of electricity, the feel for me that only Goodison can bring, and hopefully that changes and it's something that we can bring to the Bramley Moore Stadium going forward. So it's going to be tough, but needs must, and these are the kind of things that we've got to do to improve, to push the club forward. So up the fucking toffees. Catch you soon, mate. All the best.
Hello everyone on Adam's channel. We are the Goodison Gang. I'm Callum. I often am on the Toffee Blues YouTube channel if you want to check me out. But Adam has asked me to give a quick video on what I'm going to miss about Goodison Park. As someone not from Liverpool, I have a bit of a, not weird relationship with Goodison Park, but one where it might be a little bit different than those who are from the city and those who see it every day. To me, it's almost like it's an embodiment of the fan base and how together the club really is. Every time I've been to Goodison, the fans have been welcoming. I know a lot of people on Twitter see the negativity about people who aren't from Liverpool in the fan base, but every time I've been, the fans have been more than welcoming, more than respectful. I think it's one where it's going to have a lot of memories to me, whether that's the first Moyes era, the Martinez era where Lukaku was banging them in, or even some of the late stuff with Richarlison. The few games I've got to go to, I've been lucky that I don't actually think I've ever seen Everton lose at Goodison Park, so I'm hoping when I do go this season and I have the time that I can keep that record going, hopefully. But yeah, I think I'm just going to miss how much it shows the togetherness of the fan base when they are really together. I think the fan base can be quite negative at times, but I think the Goodison really shows how together everyone is and how much everyone wants Everton to do well. And I think Goodison Park feels like the last of an old guard in the Premier League when it comes to stadiums. So yeah, I think it's going to be really disappointing to see it go, but it's one of those where it's onto better things. Hopefully, I'm going to miss Goodison Park, the atmosphere, the way it gets people, the players behind, how loud it can be. The derby just showed that when Tarkowski scored the goal. But yeah, overall I'm going to miss it. It's going to be really weird seeing games at a different stadium and not seeing funny pictures online of people fans being behind the big pillar. But yeah, that is all. Thank you for having me on, Adam. And yeah, I'm going to miss Goodison Park. Please subscribe to Adam's channel. We are the Goodison Gang. And yeah, thank you for having me on. Goodbye.
One thing I'll miss about Goodison Park will be when I grew up under David Moyes back in 2012, my first ever game. I remember Everton winning and the atmosphere was right up, and they're the days I'll never forget. And also, because I'm autistic and that, I didn't used to like going to the match because it was too noisy and that, but I remember my first ever game was under, when I got older, when I got about 16, was when we won 4-1 under Frank Lampard in the FA Cup, and we beat Brentford in the FA Cup. I remember that. But there's some remarkable moments I remember as a young Everton fan when I was younger, and that. But I don't really remember that too much. But I will miss about Goodison the most will be the stadium itself. Like literally, it's heartbreaking to see it going to be going, and that's what I'm gonna miss the most will be the ground itself. Because when I look at the ground, I just feel like I'm at home, and that's what I love about Everton. Everton is my life, and Everton is everything to me, and I'm grateful for getting the chance to go to Goodison Park. And yeah, it is a beauty, and it is a historical ground. And when I went for the first time, I loved it. I got the goosebumps when Z Cars was blasting, the fans chanting, the fans singing, and the players scoring. And I'll never forget it. And what I won't forget the most is that my first ever Everton game when I was young, when I was about 10, when David Moyes was the manager in 2012. I'm 20 years old now, and I remember some games when we won, when he got us up into...
Hi, my name's Andy from Blues Against Blood Cancer, and I've been asked by Adam to put a little video together just explaining what I'm going to miss about Goodison. And it's been quite tricky just thinking about it, but I'm recording this on the day we play Crystal Palace away, which ironically was my... Crystal Palace at home was my first ever game at Goodison back in about 1981, I think it was. We won 5-0 anyway, Bob Latchford with a hat-trick. So from that day on, Goodison became the place that I went to every other week. Whenever we have a home game, obviously I'm there. Season ticket holder with me and one of my kids, which, well, the two kids share it. I've done everything I can at Goodison, I think. I've done the sleep out a number of times. I've done the zip wire. I've actually scored a goal at the park end in a little competition. So I've tried to tick every box. I've seen us win the league. I was at the Bayern Munich game. All of those things that people as old as me are lucky enough to do. But I think Wednesday night, although it was only an equaliser, I think that goal on Wednesday night against the other shower, I think that summed up to all of us what Goodison means to us and what we're going to miss. Because I think without realising it, all that emotion and that passion and aggression and everything that spewed out from the stands on Wednesday night, I think that's what we're going to miss. And I do think we'll find it hard to replicate it at Bramley Moore. I hope we can do it. But I think for me, it's the routine of going to Goodison every week. It's the familiarity of the people, of the surroundings. And we're all going to find that a bit strange when we move. But above all, I hope we can take that, as I say, that passion that we saw on Wednesday night. It's not always there, we know that. It has to come from the players and the crowd. But I think this season we've tried to celebrate Goodison as best we can. Certainly now that the managerial changes come, it's made it a bit easier because we all feel a little bit more positive towards everything that's happening. So onwards and upwards, we'll all miss Goodison, but fingers crossed for Bramley Moore. I'll be at that test event on Monday night as well, so fingers crossed. Come on, you Blues.
Hi, I'm Connor from the Toffee Blues, and I've been asked what will I miss the most about Goodison Park. And to be honest, I could come on here and I could say all the stuff that's probably already been said in numerous videos. I'll miss that it's an old-fashioned ground. I'll miss that you're close to the pitch. I'll miss that the fans are heard so loudly. It's an old stadium with an old feel. Everything that the commentators say about the ground and will say, everything that fans will say. But to be honest, the main thing I'll miss is the memories. Obviously, personally going with my dad and watching Everton play. I've seen some great moments. I've seen Tim Howard score from his own box. I've seen equalisers. I've seen late minute winners. I've seen it all and enjoyed it all with my dad and my family. So for me, I will personally miss that more than anything. Obviously, we have to leave to grow, but it's a big shame, and that's what I'll miss the most about Goodison Park is the memories.
Goodison Park means home. It's not always a happy place, but when it is, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. It's hard to say exactly what I'll miss the most because there's so much of that experience of going to Goodison that makes it what it is. I'll miss the nights like the derby when it's at its best. I'll miss the view of the old stands, and I'll miss the people who are sitting here. I don't know any of them outside of the game, but with so many shared experiences at Goodison, it's sad knowing that I'll probably not see many of them again. My favourite memory of Goodison, it might be recency bias, but it's probably that Tarkovsky equaliser in the 2-2. The feeling when that went in was unreal because we were beaten, we were down, and they were full of it. To share that with my dad and kids after missing last season's derby when we beat them 2-0, that was a very special Goodison memory. Outside of that, it's probably a game against Man United in October 1985. We won 5-0. I was 8 years old and it was my first time in the top balcony, and celebrating each goal was as terrifying as it was enjoyable.
Hi Adam, this is Jamie from the Paddock Blues podcast. You've asked the most things I'll miss from Goodison Park. Standing outside our new home, the things I'll miss from Goodison, the feeling of Goodison Park, the emotion, the smell, the chippies, the William Hill on the corner, everything. I don't think that you can pinpoint of what actually you're going to miss. It's home. I know this is the new home, but Goodison Park is home for us. It's so difficult to leave it, but we will leave it. What I'll probably miss the most is the togetherness of Goodison, going there with your friends, your family, everything else. It's so emotional. The whole it's amazing. The place is amazing. So honestly, thank you very much for your question, and hopefully up the toffees.
How's it going, bud? Right, so what am I going to miss about Goodison? So one of the big things I will definitely be missing is the shake of the stadium when the atmosphere gets going. Now, sometimes it's hard to feel, but what you can find is when the stadium gets going, all the fans are behind it, you can feel it shudder slightly, and when goals go in, you do definitely feel it rock. So that sort of aspect of the stadium, it almost feels like the stadium itself is coming alive in that way. That's definitely going to be one of the things I am going to miss about Goodison Park. It is a sad time to see us go, but what we've got to look at is we're not abandoning it. We've seen its use, we've seen its purpose, and we're moving on to something to create new history. So, all the best, bud. Up the toffees.
Hi, I'm Michael. And I'm 45 years of age, and what I'd like to say is out of the Goodison Park. I miss Goodison Park. That's my favourite place. Well, they got to move on to the new ground. I would like to say about everything. And I can't wait that new ground to open the next season. This is what next year now. I'll see you soon, and over the top piece, and thank you.